Good morning, Year 3, and happy World Book Day. How exciting. Okay, really looking forward to seeing you on Zoom later on for our special World Book Day Zoom. Okay, for this lesson, you will need these 2 pages from your pack. So, The Magic Box by Kit Wright, and this page to write your own Magic Box poem. Okay. If you also have some post-its would be really useful. Now we are starting with this poem, The Magic Box by Kit Wright, and for us it linked really well with Leon and the place between, all about a magic box filled with magic things. Now, as I read you the poem, it'd be really great if you could close your eyes and try and imagine all these amazing things coming out of this magic box. The magic box. I will put in the box the swish of a silk sari on a summer night, fire from the nostrils of a Chinese dragon, the tip of a tongue touching a tooth. I will put in the box a snowman with a rumbling belly, a sip of the bluest water from Lake Lucerne, a leaping spark from an electric fish. I will put into the box 3 violet wishes spoken in Gujarati, the last joke of an ancient uncle and the first smile of a baby. I will put into the box a 5th season and a black sun, a cowboy on a broomstick and a witch on a white horse. My box is fashioned from ice and gold and steel, with stars on the lid and secrets in the corners. Its hinges are the toe joints of dinosaurs. I shall surf in my box on the great high-rolling breakers of the wild Atlantic, then wash ashore on a yellow beach, the colour of the sun. By Kit Wright. That's the name of the poet who wrote this lovely poem. Now we're going to try and write our own version of this poem. So I want to think about what makes this poem so great. Looking at the first verse, the swish of a silk sari on a summer night. Do you notice what the poet Kit Wright does in that sentence? He alliterates. So remember, that means lots of words start with the same consonant. So the swish of a silk sari on a summer night. So 4 words in that sentence, that phrase, starting with an S. Now, what he doesn't do is he doesn't do that for every single sentence, because that would actually get a little bit boring. So fire from the nostrils of a Chinese dragon. And then more alliteration here, the tip of a tongue touching a tooth. Again, so 4 words beginning with the consonant T, the letter T. Okay, now actually looking at it, those really are the only examples of alliteration. We might find some little ones later on, so Lake Lucerne, for example. But the rest of them are really thinking about making a vivid image. And the way he's doing that is really by using precise nouns and adjectives. So he's using really precise nouns, which means the exact noun that makes you think of that object. And then he's using adjectives to help you paint the picture. So the swish of a silk sari on a summer night. Okay, swish is a lovely verb. Silk sari. Now a sari is a kind of dress often worn in India. Okay, and it's a very light piece of material that's wound around the body. So rather than saying a silk dress, which gives you one image, a silk sari gives you a slightly different image. It's a very precise noun. Okay, now to make it even more interesting, they've used the adjective silk. So a silk sari. Now he could have spoken about the colours, but he wanted to let us know what material it was made of, which really links in with the swish of a silk sari on a summer night. And that really makes me think about warmth and heat and the movement. Maybe as somebody is spinning in their silk sari on a summer night. So again, the noun, is night, and adding those adjectives to make a summer night, a summer night. They're describing when the night is. Okay. Now, what I would like you to do today is to try and think of some of your own noun phrases. Okay, so to do justice to this poem, to do the very best job you can, is going to take 2 days. Today, I'd like you to use your post-its and think of lots and lots of fabulous noun phrases. And then on Friday, because there isn't a task on Friday's video this week, I would like you to use all your fabulous phrases on your post-its, put them in order, change the order, and write them into your poem. Now let's have a look. We need 3, 6, 9, 12 fabulous noun phrases. Okay. When we're doing that, so what I'd like you to do is to think of those. If you find English a bit more tricky, maybe go for 9. See if you can do 9. And we'll have a little look at some examples that I'm going to think of. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and think about maybe some of the magical things that I've seen recently. Now, I've been doing some long walks on the South Downs, and we were up by a mast the other day and we saw all these starlings swooping about, and it really was magical. So I think I'm going to use that as my first one. Now, because it's a poem, I don't need a capital letter because it's a noun phrase. So a group of starlings, which is a type of bird, starlings, swooping, they are swooping, I think, swooping over the South Downs. Ooh. And a comma there. A group of starlings swooping over the South Downs. Now I've got some alliteration here. Starlings swooping South Downs. I think I can do a better word than group. So I'm going to underline that and I'm going to change that to a swarm. Let's see if that sounds better, more poetic. A swarm of starlings swooping over the South Downs. Lovely. As well as the alliteration, it really describes that group of starlings because they move like a swarm of ants or something like that. They moved as a group, but group is a bit boring, so I really like a swarm. A swarm of starlings swooping over the South Downs. Remember, if you get a bit stuck for some of your adjectives, you can always use a dictionary, an online dictionary, really try and look up some vivid adjectives to help you. Okay, so that's number 1. Whew, I've still got a few to go. Now, something completely different now, because none of these ideas are joined together. They're all just totally random. What other magic things have I been doing recently? So I'm thinking about a chocolate cake we made. So a chocolate cake. Now, what kind of sounds did that make? Bubbling and rising in the oven. Now, I could add in the hot oven, but you know, ovens are hot. I don't think I need to add that in. However, I do want to improve my description of a chocolate cake. Now this one, like lots of the ones in here, that hasn't got any alliteration, so that's fine. I don't want alliteration. How would I have described that chocolate cake? What was it really like? It was moist, it was delicious, it was gooey, it was... I might go with gooey, I think. Gooey, it's a funny word, isn't it? Funny word to spell. Let me see if that sounds magic. A gooey chocolate cake bubbling and rising in the oven. Oh yes, I like that one. What else? Now, it doesn't have to be anything that you've seen. You know, lots of these are from places which are far abroad that I've never been to. So a Chinese dragon, a fire from the nostrils of a Chinese dragon. I wonder if I could do something like that. Now, the nostrils are the holes in the nose. So again, that's a really precise adjective. I'm going to think about a dragon instead. I'm going to say the flick of a something dragon's tail. I'm going to write down dragon's tail so I don't forget it. And it's the tail belonging to the dragon. So that's where the apostrophe needs to go. The flick of a something dragon's tail. A dangerous dragon's tail, then I'd get some alliteration in. The flick of a fierce dragon's tail. Oh, I might go for fierce. So some of them are longer than others. Some of them are slightly shorter. Yeah, the first smile of a baby. I really like that line because when babies smile at you for the first time, it is amazing. Right, I'm not going to give you too many more examples because I really want your creativity to go wild. How many of these amazing things would you put in your magic box? Because remember, it's the magic box that belongs to you. What makes you smile? What makes you go, wow? Remember, we want precise nouns, so dragon, cake, starlings rather than birds. And we want lovely adjectives, chocolate, fierce. I've also got some fabulous verbs as well, but these are the ones that we really want to focus on today. Okay, right, go and do that, and I will then explain what we are going to do with our sheet. So finally, I've got lots of fabulous noun phrases and I want now to put them into my poem. So the first 4 verses are the same, and then at the end it's just my box is fashioned from. That just means it's made from. Okay, so I think you can finish that one off. And don't forget to sign your poem and say who it's by. I'm going to say by Mrs. Davies, my fabulous poem. Right, now, I've got lots of ideas here. I think I am going to take my group, which makes me think about spring. So I've got my swarm of starlings, so I might copy that into number 1. My icy fingertips, tracing a frosty pattern, that makes me think of spring. And ruby tulips peeking from their emerald buds. And I'm going to say that out loud, because that's how poems should be performed. They should be read out loud. They're not just for reading in your head. I will put in the box a swarm of starlings swooping over the South Downs. Nice. Starts with a similar alliteration to my poem. Icy fingertips tracing a frosty pattern. So I started with fingers but thought fingertips was more precise. Icy fingertips tracing a frosty pattern. So I could change that to frozen fingertips tracing a frosty pattern. I might start, I'll stick with icy for now. Ruby tulips instead of red. Ruby tulips peeking from their emerald buds. Yes, I like that. I think that will fit nicely into number 1. Have a little look at my ones here. How would you put those into a verse? Which order would you put them in? There's no right or wrong answer with poetry. It's up to you. What do you think sounds best? So by the end of Friday, I would hope that you would have your fabulous poem. Look forward to seeing you on our World Book Day Zoom later. Maybe if we get a chance, we'll hear a few of your ideas for the magic box.